So as you can see behind me, I have started working on the dining room. I am standing kind of like by the window to get good lighting and by the wallpaper. And as you can see, there's tape around here. So I've already started gluing the seams. And what I found with this wallpaper, it is original vinyl glued wallpaper from the 70s. So it's best that I use the seam repair and then use painter's tape to tape the seam where I had glued. And I started this on Monday, I think it was the 7th of February, and I didn't do anything Tuesday because I had class and work. And then I did a little bit yesterday. I came back through and saw that some of the areas where I had put glue and the tape actually was working. So I came back yesterday during my lunch break and did the rest of the areas. I have yet to actually pull it up. I'm giving it a good while to set and to hold, because up there at the very top by the ceiling, the paper was actually starting to curl. So I thought best that I let it sit, and I'll let it sit until probably Saturday morning. That will be the first thing that I start going through, or maybe tomorrow night. That way it will be a full 48 hours since I did most of some of the stuff, because I also want to go through and down by the baseboard, it's caulked. The baseboard, like where the wallpaper and the baseboard meet, there's caulking down there. So that I didn't have to do any work with any of the paper at the bottom because the caulk is helping to hold the wallpaper down. So I'm actually going to go and run a bead of caulk. I'm going to have to tape off the wallpaper, but in the corners and along the ceiling and down that side corner, I'm going to tape the wallpaper, but I'm going to put a bead of caulk around there before I start painting the walls to help hold the side of the walls, the wallpaper. It's also here in the cracks. I can see like where they use their utility knife to cut the wall when they installed the wallpaper. And we've painted these walls so many times. I'm surprised my mom never actually did something with that. But I've also started working on so Monday I also worked on doing the corners by the entryway and the pantry wall area where we had the drywall compound was coming loose from the metal corner strappings or whatever they're called. And so I went through with the utility knife, flaked off some of the pieces that were actually flaking off and weren't holding. And I have put more drywall compound on there. I've let it sit. I did that Monday, so it's now Thursday. I've let it sit there for a long time to go ahead and dry out. And I'm going through today and sanding all of that to get it smooth and to see where I need to add more drywall compound, so that way I can have it pretty much dry Saturday when I come through to start working on painting the ceiling and the walls. So I am trying to get that to where it dries for at least 24 to 48 hours because it is piled on so thick, because I was trying to cover up where the big chunks that I took out of the wall pretty much. So that's what we're working on right now. And luckily the drywall compound that I'm using, it is where I can wet sand the stuff. So basically wet sanding, you take a wet sponge and you just rub the sponge over the compound and it sands it away. And it's so much better because the sponge is collecting the dust, and you put it in a bowl and then you can dump it down the drain and not have to worry about dust getting all over the house. So I'm glad I went back to the store and purchased this drywall compound so I can do the rest of the house with this drywall compound. But I am also today going to be finishing doing that and filling in where I need to fill in, because there's some spots here underneath the I may have to like tape some of these because they're huge cracks in the wall underneath the window. What is the thing called that you look through? Window. So I'm gonna have to go out and get the tape so that way I can do that part of it. I also need to look for some nail pops. I know I saw some in the wall that's right behind here. So I'll be working on this today and tomorrow probably, and then I will get started with painting. I'm not sure if I will do painting all on Saturday because it is quite a lot, because also the cutting in, and it's only me, and it is a small room, so I should be able to do the majority of it. I may not be able to do all the coats, but it's like first start off with the ceiling, do a coat of paint on there, and then come in and do a coat on the walls, and then come back and do a coat on the ceiling and do a second coat on the ceiling, and then do a second coat on the walls. I think I might be able to get it all done this weekend. But I also have to go through and clean the baseboards today, clean the baseboards, and then run a bead of caulk around all of the baseboards along the windows. I need to strip out some caulking around the windows. So there's still some stuff that needs to be done today. So let's get started with the dining room renovations.
Será caliente, oscuridad cambia el ambiente. Baby, yo te prendo la vela. Mi amor, te seguiré en la noche. Haz brillar tu luz y volveré. Baby, yo te prendo la vela. Yo te prendo la vela, 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 vela. Iluminamos nuestras vidas como velas, velas, Esa noche que te llamé, estaba lista para el viaje. Y no me importa dónde vamos, siempre estamos encendidos. Baby, siempre te buscaré. Puede que seas ciega, pero yo tengo fe. Cuando te agarra el cuerpo sin conocerte. Yo siempre soñé de ti, yo arranco. A ti mi negrita, y si me levanto por ti. Nada se compara con el sabor de tus labios. No hay palabras que son necesarias. Gotea como será caliente. Oscuridad cambia el ambiente. Baby, yo te prendo la vela. Mi amor, te seguiré en la noche. Haz brillar tu luz y volveré.
So when I first started doing this seam repair, it was very difficult to get the glue actually out of the nozzle and in behind the paper up here along the ceiling. And so I kept trying a bunch of other things, and it wasn't actually sticking, so it's like I was trying this little scraper thing to try to get the stuff in there. And I eventually just went and tried to get the glue behind the seams as best as possible, and then went and grabbed my painter's tape and actually started taping the paper after I put the glue in there, taping the paper to the wall, or to like stretching the tape over the seam to kind of like pull it and hold it down. And this actually worked out a lot better. And when I came back a couple days later after letting the glue sit, I had to do some touch-ups here and there, and I actually grabbed a little paintbrush, and by little I mean like acrylic paintbrush or oil paintbrush type thing, and I put glue on the paintbrush, and then I was able to get the paintbrush behind the wallpaper, and I did the same thing where I put painter's tape and to hold the paper to the wall and try to get it to where it basically was letting everything sit there and letting the glue dry. And that worked out a lot better. And now I'm moving on to where the drywall compound has come loose from the little metal corner plates, and I'm kind of going through and trying to take off the pieces that actually kind of chunk off and easily, where they came off easily. And then I work around, and I also try to do the same thing over by the entryway. And over by the entryway, I was able to get a lot more of the drywall compound to actually come off the wall. So you'll see that here, and then once I do that, then I will start putting some of the joint compound that I purchased up there, and I do put it on really thick, but I'm trying to patch in those holes because they're really big holes. And Tuesday I took a break from doing any home repairs because I did have to work, and I also had my Korean class later that day. So I picked back up on Wednesday with trying to reseam, or still working on the wallpaper and working on the drywall patching and everything.
Say something meaningful, say something I don't know. I wanna know you better. The way that you talk to me, the way that you make me feel, I don't know if you're real. I wanna put you in that spotlight, looking at you all night. Put you in that spotlight. Oh, you make me feel right. Wanna look at you all night. Put you in that spotlight. Oh, you know you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful. And it's like you're untouchable. Like you're untouchable. Don't you know? You know you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful. I'll sing until my lungs give out your...
And now I'm going to go ahead and clean the baseboards because I will be caulking here shortly.
What are you doing to me? I think I'm going crazy. Oh, I just want you now. I wanna hold you close, don't wanna take it slow. Oh, I just want you now. I wanna put you in that spotlight, looking at you all night. Put you in that spotlight.
Now that caulking is done, at least for most of the room, I am going to go ahead and get started with putting tape down on the cracks that are underneath the window. They needed a little bit of extra support than just the regular joint compound. The tape that I have is a self-adhesive, so I could put it right over dry joint compound. Sorry, I got distracted with Oreo looking through the window at me. So yeah, I am just going to go ahead and go through and put some more compound over the tape, and I will then come back, I believe Friday, and do the same thing. I'll do a wet sand, and then I will also go ahead and put some more compound over the tape just to hide the tape a little bit more and make it more seamless and not look like there is a big gaping hole crack in the wall there. So once I was done with doing all of the drywall compound stuff, I did a slow vacuum, and that was the canister. My camera was out of battery at that point, so it shut off on me. But yes, so the canister was pretty full of dust and dirt from just doing the slow vacuum in the dining room. And for those of you that are curious, a slow vacuum is where you vacuum, but you just really pull it back slowly and also push it back forward slowly. And I did it along the length of the room, and then I switched and did it on the horizontal, the width of the room. So I basically slow vacuumed twice, and that was how much came out of there. And I did a lot of vacuuming within this whole Thursday to Sunday on this carpet, and I continuously got a lot of dust and dirt, and I don't understand it, but yes. So I am now moving on to Friday, where I am pulling off the tape from the wallpaper, and I'm getting it ready so that way I can go ahead and caulk around the wallpaper to help hold it to the wall a little bit better.
Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you. Kinda used to these battlegrounds where you flee, you don't stick around, no. But the way you've been giving me time, oh, it's something in me that says it's fine. Hoping you wouldn't change me. You got the same old flaws, be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you.
And it's Saturday, and it's paint day. So I'm putting down my drop cloths, and I invested a long time in these canvas drop cloths, and they do come in handy, and unfortunately my cats love to play with them and crawl underneath them, so you see me trying to fight them. So first we're going to start with painting the ceiling, and I am just using basic white flat paint to go ahead and do the ceiling. And I have my roller on a stick, and unfortunately the handle that I have for the roller itself is, I think, old. However, it could be that I've reused the same roller brush for multiple ceilings now. So I used it for the TV room, the back entry, and the kitchen, and now the dining room. So it may be that it's time that I actually throw it away, which I did at the end of this day. I did actually throw both of my rollers, the wall roller and the ceiling roller, away because I kept fighting with them coming off of the actual handle. So I figured it was best just to get rid of them. And as you can see, the walls are currently kind of a yellowy beige, and the color I am painting them, it's the same color that I've painted so far in the rest of the house, which is a shell white from Sharon Williams. And I I do like it because it is a white color, but it's a very, 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 very pale beige. And I've already hung the curtain rod, the new curtain rod as well. I wanted to get that hung so that way I could just go ahead and, since this is a front-facing window, I wanted to get the drapes on the window so that way I could, you know, not have people looking in my house in the middle of the night. And you also see that I have the air vent is off of the ceiling. That was one to paint, but also it's a plastic air vent, and whenever my heat turns on, it smells like plastic coming from that vent. So I have removed the vent cover, and I think just over time I maybe have hit it too many times with Tilex trying to get the mildew away from the air vent. So I have removed it, and I will be throwing it away. But because I'm in a no-spend month, I will have to wait to purchase a new air vent at some point. But that's what it is. That's how it goes. And I will continue painting.
He's more like the river, growing stronger. When we're alone, there's no you in the picture. Paint by number isn't how I wanted to. You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off and find something greener than gold.
And now I have completed with the 2 coats on the ceiling and the 2 coats on the wall. I was actually able to get it done on Saturday. I did start fairly early in the morning, and I did take some breaks here and there. And so basically what I did was I did the first coat on the ceiling and then the first coat on the wall, and then I had lunch, and then I came back after lunch and did the second coat on the ceiling and then the second coat on the wall. So I was able to get it all done on Saturday, which I was very thankful that I didn't have anything going, that I didn't have to carry over into the next day, because today, Sunday, was a very busy day with moving furniture back in and also doing my clean with me for the house. So before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and vacuum the floor, and then I will steam clean the carpet. But that will be in the next episode. So this is the end of the first episode of the dining room home repair. It was the basic prep, ceiling, walls, all of that. The next video will be next Friday, and it will be the cleaning, the final cleaning, and then moving all the furniture in and decorating. So please join me, and I hope to see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that way you are notified every single time I post a video. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful week.
That's when I love you the most. So I thought I should let you know.